3 minutes until showtime. Two minutes until showtime.
Wow, that is so wonky. Okay. A little bright. All right, here we go, and go here. Bring up restream and bring up Zoom and restream. Oh. Tonko, it's one of my photos.
1 minute
Now,
until showtime.
if I could get the lighting right, I wouldn't be disappearing all the time. Matter, audio. Listen, matter. You're looking at me like I'm nuts. Yes, I'm nuts. You didn't know this.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Love Talk Radio. This is Susan Swanbeck, CEO of the Atunetwork. This work is protected by Creative Commons licensing.
For the next 2 fun-filled hours, get ready to learn something new, be inspired, enlightened, spooked, helped, laugh, cry, and be awakened. And now, your host of Awakening the Unknown. You never know what these two will be up to next. So please welcome Susan Swanbeck.
Hey, everybody.
Michelle Sullivan.
And Michelle's still in the next room. So it's me. Don't be sad, everybody. It's still me. So with everything that has been going on, of course, a lot of stressors, a lot of people are worried, and we come from like all different parts of the world. So I thought the best thing maybe to look into today was ways to stay positive. It's one of the most difficult things to do is to actually stay positive in any negative situation. It is very hard. And especially right now, and sooner or later, people are going to start getting cabin fever. So I'm waiting for those goofy videos with the cabin fever. That'll be happening. So, that'll be amusing, but I'll be right here. I'll still be here. Going to be doing readings. Um, so yeah, I'll still be here. So what do you guys think? We have a little article that I found, and I thought it fits. It fits everything that was going on when I was trying to think exactly, what is it can I do to help people get through this? It's like, okay, I can't mail you guys toilet paper. I know you're disappointed now, aren't you? I just sorry, I can't do it. The mail probably wouldn't get there. It would get stuck. So I figured the best thing I could do is, possibly help you stay more positive. So, and that is what I choose to do. So, what we're actually going to be talking about, except for the spots on my glasses. So, I'm just going to, talk here for a minute while I try to get the spots off my glasses, just so I can, I don't know, see what I'm reading. Yeah. So, that would be awesome. All right. So, see, this is the thing. Okay. People actually are very confused. And that's the thing. That's what not being positive, believe it or not, is very, very confusing. Okay. Now they actually count in short terms. Okay. Now you got to remember this. Negative vibes will pull people down. Okay. Now it is how you can sometimes be like leading at halftime, but you promised most of them that you wouldn't be. Back on steroids and antibiotics, my lungs are killing me. My third a lot in just weeks. Wow. Oh, I hope you don't have pneumonia. Well, send out many blessings. Try to think positive. Now, staying positive and upbeat is one of the most toughest things in the world to do. It really is tough. Trust me. I know I started from ground zero. I mean, literally ground zero. It is one of the most difficult things to do. I do, however, believe that it will make you feel better. It not only will make you feel better, it actually makes the world feel better. Because if you feel better, you're noticing all the positive things around you. But when we choose to have a negative mind frame, then the negative will follow you. That's what you have to remember. If you want all these upbeat, positive people around you, then be upbeat and positive. And it's really difficult to do. Very difficult to do. It's a really good, like, all right. It's like attracts like is the easiest way to put it. Now, like-minded people, do you ever notice that you come in contact a lot with a lot of like-minded people? You seem to have these like circles, okay? People like they think very similar to you do. So why not choose, okay, to not say I've made mistakes. No, you've faced challenges. There's a big difference. That's one of the ways of changing yourself is first understanding that you didn't make a mistake. If you've learned from it, you faced a challenge. It's not a mistake. That's one of the biggest concepts right there is understanding the fact that positivity really, really matters. Okay. It matters a lot. Now, and everybody is going to probably look at me right now and say, well, how do you stay positive in this negative environment? Yeah, it's a tough one. It's going to take a lot more than me talking to you today for you to do this. It's like a lifestyle. It's like if somebody chooses to become a vegetarian or vegan, That's their choice. It's their lifestyle. And living positive is also a lifestyle. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of breathing. And okay, okay, you have to think of it. Okay, mistakes. Well, one of the machines, and again, we're going to go way back to the Hershey's chocolate factory. How many people out there love Hershey Kisses? Okay. Everybody, that likes chocolate likes Hershey Kisses, right? Well, Hershey Kisses was a challenge that was faced. And I say challenge because when the machine malfunctioned, it spit out these little droplets of chocolate. So it wasn't a mistake. Do you see what I'm saying? The machine dropped out the chocolates, and the guy that was repairing the machine invented the Hershey Kisses. And that's the way you kind of have to think of things. So I mean, it's a little difficult to concept that, but think of it that way. It wasn't a mistake that the mechanic made on the machine. It was actually a blessing in disguise. And that's the thing that we have to look at when we do face our challenges. What are the blessings that are behind this? Okay. We live right now in a really fast-paced world. And the problem is everybody has to slow down now because of everything that's happening in the US and other countries and the pandemic that's going around. We have to slow down. So now we have to look at ourselves. We're going to spend a lot of time as we go through this looking at ourselves and being with ourselves. And one of the things that I have always told you guys is that you have to love who you are. That is the biggest thing. You have to love who you are as an individual. If you love who you are as an individual, the rest is just going to fall into place. Love is going to come to you. Friends will come to you because you love who you are. I mean, not everybody is going to love everybody. It doesn't work that way. But if you're comfortable with who you are and you love who you are, that's one of the biggest things right there. You really, really, really need to love who you are. I hate allergies. Please excuse me. Now, it's what happened is when you're not thinking in terms of positivity all the time, we have a tendency to be unhappy. See, negativity will promote unhappiness. I mean, how many people out there look in the mirror? You look in the mirror and you just like, oh my God, I'm ugly. Oh, I'm old. Oh, I'm fat. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. But if we were all the same, if we were all the same, all of us, the world would be boring. I think that we need to look at ourselves as an individual. Individuality is really important. Be comfortable with who you are. Be bold. I mean, literally, guys, just be bold. 54 years old, purple hair. Love it. That's me. This is who I am. And yes, the first time I decided, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the purple. The first thing, right, weight. Mine is weight too, honey. Literally. Even, and this is the thing. This is the thing I want to let you guys in on. Even when I was a teenager and I had this younger, perfect figure, good skin, I still always looked at people like, why do you want to look at me? Why do you want to be with me? I mean, literally, I mean, there's really nothing special about me. And this is exactly what it is. It doesn't matter. Models will starve themselves because they're not happy. They're too chunky. They're too fat. Oh my God, they have a 1/4 of an inch around their thigh. Okay. So these are what things everybody thinks about in everyday life. All those the actors, I mean, especially think of it, actors, you have to have a certain body build, right? You have to. So you got to go to the gym and you got to do this and you got to pump and you got to pump. And it's like, oh my God, I lost a quarter of an inch there. So they got to pump and they got to do it. And you have to think about it. Out of all the people in the world, I would say actors have it the worst. They have it the worst. The ones that have to be thin all the time and this all the time and that surgery and this surgery, because you have to be this, you have to be that, rather than just enjoying who you are as an individual. Embrace who you are. That's one of the first most important things about positivity is love who you are. Find one thing, just one thing about yourself that you love more than anything else and build on that. Just one thing. Exactly. Yeah, it is. And there's things that arise that sometimes we falter, but right now it's just one thing. Just one thing. Let's see. Me, easy. I love the fact that I'm bold enough to go anywhere in this purple hair color because it's me. It's who I am. I loved that boldness of me. I am a very bold, goofy individual, which you guys don't see much. But I am a very goofy, bold individual. I love that about myself. I love that I am at the point in my life where I do not care if people think I look weird or people think I'm chunky or people think, oh my God, you let yourself go. Yes, I would enjoy cake to keep people like you away. I'm sorry. But this is me. This is me. I love who I am. I don't want the pressure of literally being this perfect 10 with perfect skin, perfect face, perfect. I don't want that. I want a perfect soul. I want a true heart. I want to show that I love people just for who they are, and that's who I am. This is just rapping, guys. That's the biggest thing you need to realize. Your beauty and your love for yourself, it's not this. This goes. Okay? Literally, trust me. I was 34, 24, 34. Okay? I had a perfect shaped body when I was younger. Now, I am really comfortable and I love the fact that I eat whatever I want, whenever I want. It is what it is. And this is just who I am. So enjoy it. Enjoy who you are. Stop. Okay. One of the things I was when I was younger, something else you guys don't know about me, I was anorexic because I always thought I was too fat. So I got to the point where I stopped eating. To this day, I do not own a scale. My doctor will not tell me my weight because I have been through that. Even though those that know who I was and when I was younger, I mean, I could show you guys pictures, but there was a lot of sacrifice that came with that. I don't want to be that person. I want the beauty from the inside of my soul and spirit to shine out. That's the first part of yourselves you have to realize, okay, is that you need to love who you are. And that's it. Love who you are. Hello, Donna. How are you doing? Hello, Rose. Hello, Elizabeth. And I think I seen, I don't know who else I seen in here. Robert's in here as well. So, and that's the biggest thing. Now what we're going to be actually speaking on today is why positivity matters. Okay. And in building an artificial environment that actually radiates positivity. That's another good one. And again, we're going to be talking a little bit on psychology here, and being having the right perspective. And again, stop dwelling on the past. That is a really big one. You guys, you can't dwell on things that were. You can't go back in time. We do not have time machines. We go from today forward, and that's all you can do. You can go from today forward. You can't go back. You could do the woulda, coulda, shouldas. If I would have done this, if I could have done this, because only thing you're doing is bringing negativity in. At that time and space, you did the best you could with the information you had at that time. If you have learned, something, anything, then you have faced a challenge. Okay? That's what it is. If you keep repeating having to learn the same challenge, then you haven't learned it well enough yet. So don't give up. Stay positive. Stay blessed with yourself. Love yourself enough not to bring the negativity around you. That's one of the biggest things right there. Now, a lot of people will say, okay, why does it matter that I'm positive all the time? Why do I have to be positive all the time? Okay. Now, one of the most, and again, like I said, this is an article that I found. And again, I'm going to add my own take on this. But one of the most successful billionaires out there, Richard Barson, he actually wrote a blog post on why positivity is so important. So you guys can look that up. The long, short, sort of it, or actually, is positivity can actually spread. This is the point you have to remember. Positivity can spread to others. Okay. So it can actually make you and your team more productive, happy, while making work more enjoyable. Like this. This is not a job for me. This is a passion. This is what I love to do. So to me, I don't look at it. So don't look at it like that. And it's like yawning. When you yawn, even if you don't have to yawn, other people yawn with you because it's catchy. That's the way you want to think of your positivity. Now, consider the downsides of negativity. Okay. The downsides. Okay. Now, people like me, I used to be the negative Nelly, pretty much. That's what my mother used to call me sometimes, negative Nelly. But I'm not like that. That's not who I am. What happens is when you're negative, you spiral. Where do you spiral? You spiral down to depression, anxiety, lack of willpower to do anything, lack of energy, frustration, anger, resentment, frustration, jealousy, greed. Greed, guys. What is going on right now in the grocery stores is being done by people who are not thinking positively. Okay. And you have also the negativity will give you a greater wellness to give up. Do you want that? You don't want that, do you? You want that willingness to spread that joy, that happiness, that the fact that you're not jealous, the fact that you fight to succeed, you refuse to give up. Rather than giving up, you refuse to give up. You just keep going. Rather than anger, you're spreading joy. Rather than sarcastic negative remarks, you're spreading laughter. Okay. Rather than depression, you're spreading happiness. Literally, it's just the nicest thing. Like today, I always try to find a way to spread a little joy. And I think this is a good experiment for you guys, especially with social distancing. Somebody got out of their car and she had an umbrella. And I looked at it and I said, oh my God, that is the most beautiful umbrella I have seen. It is so cute. And it really was cute. It had like these little roses on it, and they had like these little tassels coming down, like a little old-fashioned parasol, except it was an actual umbrella. And I thought it was the cutest thing in the world, and that's all it took. And I didn't have to approach her. I didn't have to go into her space. I still kept the distance, but I gave her a compliment to take with her. Now, you have to remember it's like a chain reaction. You know that old thing that was going around, the pay it forward? That was a chain reaction of positivity. It was a social experiment of positivity. That's exactly what that was. So you're, in a sense, you're building and you're sharing and you're showing others how to be positive. How many other people you go, and this has happened to me before. Some gentleman was in and he was at work and he looked like he was in a rush. And my mother and I, when I take her to the grocery store early in the morning, she likes to stop at a Dunkin', where she knows all the people. And usually we'll sit in there and we'll have coffee. We can't do that right now. We'd have to do the drive through. But we usually sit in there and we'll have our coffee. So literally, she was just, he was like, go ahead. We're still not sure what we want. And it looks like you have to go to work. So, he let him go ahead. And then, my mother finally made up her mind. We get up to the register, and the guy actually paid for 3 coffees for me, my mother, and my aunt. And that made me happy. And that was a joyful situation. It was like, oh, that is so sweet. So the next person behind me, there was a young child. It's like, okay, I want to pay for a donut for the kid. And that's what I wanted to do. So I wanted to pay for something for him. So I did that. I paid it forward as he paid it forward. So it created, what he did was he started a positive chain, a chain of positivity. 15 euros for some new cards that I wanted. She said very good to me, so I bought them for her as a thank you. Oh, that is so sweet. Hi, Michelle. So that's what we, especially now with everything that's going on, we need to spread joy and positivity and blessings. We need to spread as much of this as possible, because try to think of it this way. I mean, I have like a casual type friend. Um, I actually met her because I do video and she's a singer. And I'm not going to say her name because I don't, want to bring that up, but she's actually going through really bad cancer right now. She does the most amazing videos, talking to everybody, telling everybody her experience. And literally, she's still singing a little bit. Yes, she's got no hair. And yes, she's lost a lot of weight. And you know what? Through her experience, she is choosing to stay positive. She is choosing to still be who she is and spread joy. She is choosing not to give up. The moment you give in to negativity, you give up. How many individuals that have had cancer, that it's like they don't understand it's a miracle, but they always had that positive outlook that I'm going to do this. I'm going to survive. I'm going to make it. I'm not going to give up. That's the attitude we need. That's the attitude. We need to spread that positivity, that joy, that love. This is what we need to do. Now, one of the other things we can actually do is we need to build, and this is what we're talking about right now. We're talking about building an artificial environment that radiates only positivity. That is what we're talking about. Okay. I mean, a lot of us have been through a lot. Okay. Good example. I mean, yes, I've lost a son, I've lost my husband, and I've lost a lot of relatives. Okay. She is a fighter. She is a fighter, and she could still sing. She was singing because everybody wanted her to sing, and she still got a voice through it all. She's amazing. But I mean, I have been through a lot of loss, but I've also learned things from your loss. And it's a very difficult thing to do. It's a very difficult to learn something when you're going through such large emotions. And that's when the opportunity that negative can seep in. You don't want that. So when my husband first came sick, I started learning about different things. I mean, I started learning oils way back then because I wanted to find an alternative way for him. I actually finished and got my my certification as a Reiki master. So there was a lot of things that I did because of him, because he was sick, because I wanted to find a way to help him where he was comfortable. Okay. So that's what I chose. I chose to find another method that I could try to find a way to do it. And now, okay, a part of me, I could take this, the positive or the negative way. I couldn't help my husband. Wrong statement. I choose to continue to share the stuff and the things that I have learned with everybody else because it could help someone else. The doctorate, the holistic psychology, these things that I have done to help him can now help as many as possible. That's what it's about. I choose, I choose to build around the positive of everything that happened. The positive. Now, there was an individual, okay, his name actually was John Moreau. Now, he couldn't move from the neck down. He lived basically off of the government at the time. And again, I'm just reading an article. And he couldn't earn his own money because he couldn't walk. And the government, it was very difficult. Even small dreams like having his old job seemed out of reach. But he didn't let that stop him. Now he's an actually multi-millionaire entrepreneur living in Mexico because why? He refused to give up. He built everything he built was on positivity. Positivity. And that's what it was about. And again, the secret to his success was actually he cut out all negativity and replaced every minute of every day with a positive thought from successful people. That is what worked for him. He listened to audiobooks. He listened to podcasts for 4 to 8 hours a day. He actually replaced all his TV time with books. Okay. He stopped hanging around with other people that had that negative mindset that chose not to fight to go forward. Afterwards, his reality was actually a positive change. Okay. Now, what he thought was impossible was doable because what did he do? He started, excuse me, he started creating his own artificial environment that only radiates positivity. That's what he started to do. Okay. That was it. Now, and again, thanks to the internet. Okay. There's actually a gold mine in the internet. There's a lot of things that we can do as individuals. Like there's podcasts, there's selling things on the internet, there's finding out information, there's literally answering emails. So there's a lot more that we can do rather than giving up. A lot. Okay. So this is a blessing actually in disguise. Now, I like, okay. Now I'm pretty sure that you guys have actually heard this all before. Stay positive, stay positive, stay positive. Okay. It really does work, guys. It really does. What you need to do is you need to have, okay, the first thing you need to do, are there any people around you that are negative all the time, negative, 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 to the point where you're like, oh my God, I'm sorry, but you have to center on yourself. You have to love yourself enough to remove any negativity out of your life. And that includes individuals. Sometimes you could be friends with people for years, but you know, if you were friends for years, you still need that break. You need to maintain that positivity. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're you're not you don't need um written permission to look out for yourself is which you need the positive. You need to understand and okay, I'm going to do this. I choose to do this. I could give you one more example right now. I chose I chose. I mean, I worked two jobs way back long ago when my kids were younger. I worked two jobs. I fell. I broke my back. Broke it. Hit the back of my head. Started wearing glasses. Um, Basically, after a short stay in the hospital, I got up and I walked out the door. I actually had a doctor call me back and wanted to take a second set of x-rays. And when I walked in there, of course, with a cane, when I walked in there, she looked at me and she said, "How are you walking?" And I told her, one foot in front of the other. That's how I walk. I chose to not to not give up. I chose to maintain, okay, this too is temporary. This too shall pass. I will figure this out. Because I was only thinking, okay, I can't, not walk. I have to find a way. And yes, it was difficult in the beginning, but it was something that I did. Hey, Sheila. So it was difficult, but it was something I chose to do. I chose not to listen to anything negative. I just decided that was it. I'm going to walk. So I walked. Okay. And then there's a lot of things that we as individuals, yes, I have a cyst in my back. So as I was choosing to walk and my back was broken and I had a hole in my spinal column with the fluid, the weirdest thing happened. I actually have a cyst in my back that's permanent and it'll never go away. Do you want to know what that cyst is? It's a pocket of my spinal fluid. Causes pressure, causes pain. But because my body kind of like self did something weird, it kind of self caught the spinal fluid so it didn't go anywhere. So I have this pocket that actually stopped the spinal fluid from leaking out in my system. That's one of the other reasons why I can walk. I mean, I wouldn't know if somebody stuck me with a pin in my butt, but I can still walk. So that's what I chose to do. And I chose to do that. So yes, it's positive. It's it's just don't give up. No ouch. Half the time I don't feel my back or my butt. So no worries there. Sometimes I feel pain, but not all the time. But you know what? I'd rather feel the pain and walk. I would rather lift something I know I shouldn't be lifting to help my mother, just to know that I can stand up and do it. That's the way I choose to look at it. I choose not to say, oh, well, if this didn't happen, I would have done this, I would have done that, I would have done this. But if I wouldn't have fallen then, if I did not go through this negativity and this pain, this fighting to get back up, having a newborn baby, would I be here today? Would I be here doing the radio, helping you guys? Would I have developed a passion for wrapping crystals? Who would I be if I didn't go through everything I went through? Who would you guys be if you didn't go through some of the experiences that you had that you consider negative? Who would you be today? You wouldn't be who you are because your life and your experiences, whether they're negative or positive, create who you are. They create who you are. So what you want to do is embrace it. Embrace everything. I wasn't always perfect. I don't care. That's okay. I learned. So I face challenges. You have not made any mistake. If you learned from the situation that happened, it's not a mistake. It's a challenge. That is your first thing you're going to change. That's literally, guys, this is what I want you to do from now on. No mistakes. You learned from it. It was a challenge you faced and succeeded because you can't go back. You can't. You got to keep going forward and you got to keep going and you got to keep doing it and you will succeed. I believe in you. Trust me, I believe in you. This works. It really, really, really works. It's a hard thing to do, but it works. We're still talking right now about building your environment. Okay. So, one of the other things, besides you need to let go of the negativity, we need to actually raise your energy. Okay. Raise your energy. You need to put yourself in happy spots, even when you're sad. Now, this is one of the hardest things to do unless you're like me and you can't stop laughing at Jeff Dunham. So if I start to feel myself falter down, I'll create a false they call it's not really false. It's what you're doing is you are tricking the chemicals in your brain to think you're happy by through laughter. Find something that you find hilarious. Whether it's the Three Stooges or me, I love Jeff Dunham. I think he's hilarious. So I mean, I love watching. My favorite is arguing with himself. And that's my go-to thing. If I start to feel myself coming down off the positive wheel, that's the first thing I do. That I watch him and I do it. And I just like, oh my God, I love it. And that's what it is. Find the one thing that actually brings you that hysterical joy. You want that chemical in your brain to continue because you're not always going to be upbeat. You're going to have stresses. You're going to have concerns. You're going to have worries. Find that. Find that one beautiful moment, that one positive thing that gives you that joy, that laughter, and that happiness. Create that. That's part of your artificial environment. Okay. So this is what you're doing. You're creating an artificial environment that'll become a part of who you are. It works. I've been watching the same thing for Jeff Dunham for years. I'm sorry. I've tried others. I just really love it when he argues with himself. I think it's hilarious. That's right. Every day. Every day. So if you find you're having a bad day and you have to watch a show twice, fine. You got to listen to comedy. Fine. Okay. You need to find a way to laugh. If you laugh at people falling down on their butts, do that on YouTube. Whatever it is that brings you joy, that gives you that chemical in your brain when you're happy and you're excited and you're just feeling all that, do that. Okay? Do it. Do not. Whatever you do, if you're feeling down, please don't watch a sad movie. Don't do it. It brings you down farther. So what you're going to do, what you're going to create is more of that negativity. That's what you're going to create. You're going to create more of that negative, that, oh man. And then you're going to cry and then you're going to feel upset. And I don't know about you, but I just like between my allergies and crying, it's like, you get these gigantic eyeballs and they're all red and bloodshot and you wear glasses and you're trying to see and it's, no, that's wrong with me. No. Yes. Every now and then, yes, we do need a good cry to get it out. But if you are in that state where you're starting to feel depressed, you're starting to feel low in that state of mind, then find the laughter. You don't know what brings you joy. I would go through YouTube, honey, and find anything. Hey, if watching cute little kitty cats bring you joy, do it. If reading memes brings you joy, do it. Find anything, something that actually brings you joy. You'll find it. I have faith. I have faith. I literally, it's like, oh my God, look at this. Oh my God, look at this. Some of the things people write are hilarious. But see, the other thing, as far as your artificial environment, people, do not take life too seriously. That's the thing. If everything for you is serious, then you're going to create anxiety, and then you'll have the stress. And along with the anxiety and the stress, you're going to have fear. Fear is negative. We don't want fear. It's okay to have a little bit of fear, but you also need to have faith more than we have fear. Music and cats make me smile. Cats bring me joy, and music helps me escape my reality. There you go. Find a bunch of cat videos and play some music. There you go. Did you see the cat one where literally there's this like little kitten, the guy's putting the spider toward it? I swear to God, he sounds just like a female crying. I've seen that on Facebook a couple of times. And I think it's cute. I think it's funny. Some people go, oh my God, the poor cat. And I'm saying, oh my God, that's hilarious. So we all have different senses of humors. We all have different things that are going to help us. Okay. So that's what we're doing. We don't want that negative. Okay. We want things to be happy, to be enjoyable. Like, okay, say if your favorite thing in the world is this one ice cream shop, right? You're funny, Rose. Okay, say if there's one thing in the world is like this ice cream shop, and they make the world's greatest banana split with all different flavor ice creams and cherries and the works or whatever you guys eat, right? So you have that, and it's only open once a year. Okay. And you need that instant joy. Imagine yourself taking that ice cream boat, taking that nice long spoon. Remember the long spoons they used to have? Sticking it in and taking that first euphoric bite, because that's what you're doing. You're creating a euphoria. Okay. That's what your chemicals in your brain we want. We want that blessing, that euphoria, that happiness, that joy. And it is very, very difficult to do sometimes. So if you don't have it, make it artificial. It's nothing wrong with that. In the beginning, having artificial joy, artificial laughter still brings you the same effects as real joy and real laughter. It does work the same way. Medication's amazing. Yes, it can be. Now, here's a fact, a really strange fact. Funny people, believe it or not, they say have intelligence, but some people have a mask behind what's happening with their laughter. So what we need to do is we need to have that contagious laughter. Do you ever, it's like, okay, you hear, you say, I'm not going to laugh. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to laugh. Right. And you hear this one laugh and it keeps going and and you can't help but laugh. You can't, no matter how much you're trying to stop it, you can't. It just comes out. Literally, it just comes out. Are the NIST depression? I'm sorry. It could be a misprint or it could be the spots on my glasses. But yes, depression is a chemical imbalance in the brain. Okay. So psychologically, from a holistic counselor, exactly, laughter is the world's greatest medicine. And I love it. I mean, 54 years old, everybody's worried about their looks and making faces that look like, people's butts. And I'm sitting there letting my daughter take pictures of me dyeing my hair. I don't care how ridiculous I look. Did it make somebody laugh? That's all I care about. And that's what it is. So till your tummy hurts. Yes. Yes, most comedians are actually more depressed because they don't want anybody else to feel what it is they feel. So with them, it's their craziness, their joy to bring joy to others. So yes, there can be a hidden underlying depression, and that's the thing that you don't want. You don't want that depressive state. So you want to create that artificial happiness. This is how to stay positive. Now, one other show we can actually get into holistic methods for depression and psychological conditions. But right now, we're trying to change anything negative into positive mindset, is what we want to do. Now, those of you that listen on Sunday know that I'm really big on mantras. Okay. I love mantras. I think just saying them on a constant basis. See, if you, okay, part of like holistic counseling, the easy way to put it is part of it is if you say something every day in the mirror, every time you get a chance, you say the same thing in the mirror every day. After a while, you're going to believe it and you're going to create it. It's like manifesting, so to speak. People are, yeah, they sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not. It really depends. It depends on the individual themselves. Now, okay, that you need to actually create something that needs to be fits who you are and what it is you're trying to create. Okay. In other words, you don't want it too too perfect, or, like, oh, I'm going to have extreme amounts of money. It's going to bring me money. Don't bring you happiness. You bring yourself happiness. Okay. We all bring ourselves happiness. We have to be happy with who we are as individuals. So create something. Right. And I do. And there's, you know what? There is a way to change this. But I can get into the holistic aspects of that some other time. But positivity right now. Okay. All right. A positive change. People that don't like what they look like. That's one of their things. They're more focused on who they are. Okay. You can start with many things. You can start with a little note that says, I am a beautiful person. And to me, what I'm a beautiful person means, it means who you are in soul. To others, it means who they are on the outside. But after a while, the two will actually combine. Okay. I am a beautiful person. And you want to get to the point where you say this every day. You're looking in the mirror. I am a beautiful person. Okay. I am. And that's it. You always use the I and the am, and you keep saying it. And if that doesn't feel right for you, I will be. Okay. I will be a beautiful person. I will become a beautiful person. In other words, you bring yourself slowly in from one thing into another in order to create the positivity. And that's what your mantras should actually represent. They should represent you going from one small section into another. So if you can't do the I am, do the I will be. Do the I will. Okay. Create something that says you're going to. And then when that feels comfortable, or give yourself permission. I give myself permission to be happy. I give myself permission to love who I am. And when you start to really feel that, then you go, I will be happy. I will be happy. I will be a beautiful person. Then from there you go to, I am a beautiful person. So what you're doing is you're actually creating that thing. Overspending. Okay. Overspending, that if that makes you feel negative. Okay. I will learn to control my spending, or I will Give yourself permission first. If you need to give yourself permission, I give myself permission to what you want to. And again, you don't want the overspending. You want everything to be in a positive. So I will balance my checkbooks, or I will balance my bank accounts, because I think most things are bank accounts right now rather than checkbooks. I will. All right. I can, or I give myself permission. Create something that brings in that positive aspect of yourself. Okay. So rather than overspending, I will save money for a future vacation, or I will save money. So, and rather than saying you're overspending, you're taking the overspending, which is negative, putting it into I will save money without judging what happened. So you're letting that go. That was the past. Now you're saying, okay, because yes, I've had that issue. And yes, I have savings now because I will save money. And that's what I do. I will save money, or I give myself permission to save money towards something, whatever, you know, or I give myself permission to save for the future, or I give myself permission to save for that vacation I've always wanted. What you want to do, I am going to do a crystal show, honey, on Saturday. I have a reading after the show tonight. And tomorrow is kind of like chill out. I'm going to be doing a Netflix movie thing tomorrow, just because, we all need something fun to do. So I'm going to see how many people I can invite in on this. So I want to do a comedy show, and we can all chat and watch the comedy show and eat popcorn in our own houses. So, but yeah, I do have a couple of crystals that actually help with overspending, self-love. I'll have to take a look and see what I have. So this is what we want to get. Like I said, the mantras. You want something that creates a happy goal for you, a happy, positive aspect for you. Okay. So something that makes you happy, something that brings you that joy. So what you don't do is you don't say, I don't want to overspend anymore. You say, I give myself permission to save for. I give myself permission to save towards. I will save towards. Okay. I am saving towards. So you want to work yourself up in steps until you get to that I am. Because what it does is it creates the positivity. Your soul and your spirit need to believe what you say in order for this to work. So first you need to give yourself permission. Once you feel comfortable giving yourself permission, then you say you're working towards it. Then once you start working towards it and you're physically working towards it and you believe spiritually you're working towards it, then you do the I am. So what you're doing is you're slowly changing your mindset. And the weirdest thing in life is everybody, you feel better if you give yourself your own permission, is what you do. Like, I will be okay. Yes, exactly. Yep. After a window crashing down into my head 2 hours ago. Just saying. Sorry, but see, you made me laugh. And that's what it is. You will be. I will be okay. People say this too shall pass. Why do you think they say that? This too shall pass. Oh, you have asthma. Okay, so let me ask something. Rather than going to the past, how did you feel right before that happened? If you know exactly how you felt right before that happened, the next time you feel that way, sit down. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to retrain your brain into positive. And I know that's a really bad analogy, and I'm really sorry if you got hurt, but we're trying to take any situation and recreate. Okay. That's what we're going to do. Now, we're actually only talking about using mantras is what we're talking about. Fine. Well, it's tough. I mean, I can remember some of the things that I've done when I was a kid, but you get all excited, and all I can think of when you were talking about that is something I did as a kid, and I was all excited. I went and I did this thing, and my mom made me a cake for it, and I wanted to carry the cake down to her so she could do the thing, and it was big, and it was like, all these things, and the cake literally slipped and went boom upside down, and my mother put hours to work on that cake. I was like, oh, mom, I'm sorry. She said, don't worry, the bottom's still good. And that happens. All right. We are literally close to break time and a lot of coffee. And when we come back, we're still going to be talking about positivity, especially right now. Right now, very positive. Okay. I am prepared. Okay. I've got tons of wire. Okay. And I am going to be getting a drill to learn how to create more smaller things for like crystals and earrings. So there's some things I'm going to be working on. So I'm prepared that if I am stuck, trust me, I've got a whole container of these things I could do something with and create stuff. So I'm not worried about it. And this is what I think. Okay. I choose. Yeah, it really is hard to stay positive. It really is. It's one of the hardest things in the world to do. And it was quite a challenge for me. It really was quite a challenge because I've had a lot of stuff thrown at me, a lot. But if I can do this, you can do this. Honey, in my younger days, I drank away my depression. The only time I felt good is when I had a Bacardi and Coke in me. Okay. So I do understand that. I understand that it is difficult, but if I can do this, anybody can do this. Anybody. Okay. We're going to be right back right after this break and pause for the cause and more coffee for me. Okay. So we're going to be right back. Stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there. There it is. There's one. Okay. Hold on. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Okay. We got you. Coffee. Ooh, hey there, hello there. How is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Are we feeling any better, any positive? Before we start, I want to talk to you about one thing. Has anybody ever seen a bumblebee or a picture of a bumblebee? I'm sure you guys have. Do you know, technically, they shouldn't fly? Their bodies are heavier than their wings. But do you know why they do? Nobody told them they couldn't. They choose to fly because they remain positive. Think about that for a minute. Think about that. So, I see we got some positive. See, positive, literally paying it forward. It's going through here. This is awesome. I love it. I love it. And Michelle, you literally, Michelle Curry, you will. Everything will work out just fine. I have faith. I do. I have a lot more faith than I ever did. And I've faced a lot of challenges. And thank you, Rose, for helping her. Well, I got my coffee. Hey, I'm a happy camper. All right. So now, is there music out there? Music that makes you feel good? Do you know that you can actually use the power of music to make you happy? Think about it. Okay, so if I'm like, I found I was doing this, like I was angry, I would constantly listen to Godsmack. It was like, why did I listen to it? Because believe it or not, even though the music was like rocking, okay, like that, which is what my energy needed, you know, the things he sang about, I could feel. That's right. Two women lifting each other up. And that's exactly what this is about. Mustang Sally, there you go. So what is it? What music listens you up? What genre? Is it literally, is it rock? Is it rhythm and blues? Is it wake up happy music. What kind of music, hey Annabelle, what kind of music helps you feel uplifted and positive? Have that around you. See, I love rock. If you guys couldn't tell by my break music and my intro, I love that 80s music. That's another one. Literally. I mean, that's awesome. So here's another thing, guys, talking about music. Have you guys ever played We Dance? It's a game on Wii where you actually have to imitate how they're dancing. It's bloody hilarious. Love it. It's so funny, especially when you're watching yourself and what you're trying to do. My kids think I'm hilarious. So, and that's just something else that I do. But literally, what you want to do is you want to create a positive playlist. Whether you have music or whether you have a library, I have a playlist. One that's labeled cleaning house, one that's labeled positive moods, and one for meditation. And I have certain things that I also have another one for motivation. So I have certain songs that I listen to in order to create the mood that I want. Okay, because that's what works for me. Now, this method is a method that actually does work for kids with autism. Okay, the method of creating a positive mind frame for them. Literally, their mood will change depending on what they listen to. Now, I know this because of my adopted daughter, who actually deals on a daily basis autistic adopted grandchildren. So this does work. So literally, if you listen to Flock of Seagulls, oh my God, does that take you back? And then you piece apart the songs and the words. And what's another one that I like? Oh God, I'm having a brain fart right now, and I can't remember his name, and I've got the song stuck in my head, and I can't think of the words, but I know it's there. Phil Collins. Phil Collins. That's it. Phil Collins is a certain song that my husband actually told me a story about because he had gone to a concert when he was younger. There's a certain song that he actually sang. He actually, as a child, he witnessed somebody not going out helping somebody, so they kind of drowned. And I know that's negative, but what he did was he actually gave him a ticket to his concert, invited him, sang the song to him, looked him straight in the face, and told him, I know what you did. So pretty much, he said, the guy was drowning, and I can't remember the name of that song, but that was something. So literally when I listen to that, I can picture my husband telling me the story as I'm listening to the song, so that'll bring me a smile, because he had a lot of stories from a lot of things that he did. So music is a very, very powerful tool, a very powerful tool. Okay. Yes, we can. We can all become stronger and wiser. Yes, in the air tonight. Yes, that's the one. That's the one. My husband was actually at the concert when he confronted the guy. So he was literally at that concert. Yeah, he got around because he was a fisherman in his younger days. He also met Barbara Streisand. He had all kinds of pictures of all these people. So literally. And guys, sing if it makes you happy. If your kids don't like it, tell them to buy earplugs. I don't care. So if it makes you happy and feel good to do it, then do it. That's another one. Music. Music is very powerful. Now, here's another one. Okay. Besides music. Okay, here's another one besides music right now. Now, studies, okay, people who have never ever given up. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to find an individual who has never given up, no matter what life has thrown at them. And this will change. Yes, it is a true story, and he did witness it. This will change throughout your days. Like, every single one of us has what we like to call our heroes, our inspirations. Right now, my inspiration is literally watching this woman go through this cancer and smile and talk about her story and still throwing positivity. I mean, she fights and still spreads love and happiness and joy and always has a kind, positive word. And to me, she's someone that I would like to strive to be. That's what it's about. And she is not giving up, even with everything that is going on right now. She is not going to give up at all. At all. Absolutely amazing. It really is. And that's what you want. Study people like that. I mean, I listen and I follow certain people, and certain people just inspire me because it's who they are, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. It really is. So no matter what, don't give up. Don't give up. Never give up. Now, here's another one. Okay. What else you need to do? Okay. You need to actually realize that you don't have to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. Okay. There isn't. There's no such thing as perfect. Remember that right off the bat. I remember in the soul, and then I was what they would love me to be today was not happening. Uh, uh, yeah, I'm sorry. I lost track of the conversation in the chat room. Please excuse me. Now, you guys, you don't have to be perfect at all. There's no such thing as a perfect person. Okay. There's not one person on this earth that can think 100% positive all the time. You can't. You absolutely cannot think 100% positive. There's no such thing. We're all going to fall. We're all going to face challenges. It is what happens. Okay. So, and again, I don't know who's messaging me, but I'm kind of doing a live. So, right. Okay. Michelle, I'm kind of in the middle of a live. I can't really read your messages. She's funny. She's right in the next room, too. All right. So, and that's what it is. If something happens, and everybody has moments of downtime. Everybody has a moment where you just literally, it's like watching the Titanic over and over again. It's like, why didn't you just share the board? Everybody is anybody else but me just think that? Literally, if you guys each would have gotten half and half on the board, you could have been able to share it and you both would have lived. Okay? Literally. But no, she had to be in the middle. And when he tried to get on, it almost tipped. So I'm sorry. They both could have lived. And that's thinking negative. But, every time you watch that movie, it's like, why did you just, anybody else do that? Yell at the TV? Literally. And sometimes we have to get that part of us out. Even if it is about arguing with a movie that is never going to change the ending, but you always want to change the ending. So there's no such thing as it. It's called, basically we call these downtimes. Okay. The difference is that successful, positive people don't let negative moments last longer than they need to just to get through them. Okay. That is the trick. If you want to be a positive person, take literally, it just lasts as long as it needs to. And then it's done. It's done. Okay. That is one of the biggest things. If you need to cry, okay. And again, what happens, you need to cry, let them cry, literally, but then move on. And that's one of the hardest things to go from is the sad, the crying to moving on. That is another trick. That is, It's not just, okay, I cried, I'm upset, I'm going to pretend. No, you need to do something to take your mind off it, is what you need to do. You need to continue to actually move forward, move forward in that happiness. Okay. So think about that. It's okay to cry. It's okay to get upset. It's okay to falter. Okay. It's a very difficult not to be happy all the time. Okay. We're not perfect, but feel what you need to feel and move on. Don't judge yourself for what you did. That's the one thing you don't want to do. Don't judge yourself. You felt what you had to feel. You did what you had to do, and then you moved on. It's like, that's right. And it's like, okay, people that don't swear, all of a sudden, one of the world's worst things you could do is bang your toe. You don't swear, you bang your toe. The first words out of your mouth, whether you swear or not, is son of a, or something else to that extent. So, yes, there's no such thing as a perfect person. Okay. Let the tears flow, let the accidents come out of your mouth. So, literally, just do it and let it go. And just that's it. It's done. You felt it. Okay. Acknowledge that you felt it. Acknowledge what you felt. But then the trick is to move forward, go on, keep going, because it's hard. It's really, really hard, especially for those of us that have different particular types of toe jam. Yeah. For those of us that have different types of disabilities, it's difficult. It's really, really difficult for us to not, feel bad, to not say, oh, I should be doing this, but I know I can't. Like when we're talking about the snow, because of my back condition, if the roads are icy, I won't leave the house unless somebody walks me to my car, which is a big pain in the ass. Then, you start to feel like, I'm a little bit, useless, blah, 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 blah. So these are all things that we look at. We don't want to do that. Okay. Because I try to think, okay, all of my kids have always been there to help me. Okay. All of my kids, my texting out. So all of my kids have been there to help me. So what did I teach them by leaning on them, allowing me? I taught them how to look out for others. Okay, so I'm not being needy. Okay, I'm actually teaching them something. I'm teaching them how to look out for other people. It's literally all you go on a shopping bag. You're texting on a shopping bag, or you're out of toilet paper. I'm sorry. It's just a silly question. Anyways. So, hey, don't worry about it. Just look out for the 3-pointed leaves. That's what you don't want. So you just, and again, it's you're enough. No matter what, you are enough. That is the biggest part of realizing that on the ice. Yeah. It is what it is, because I have that fear that if I fall, and again, fear, I have that fear that if I fall, the cyst pops because of where it is in my back. And if it does pop, then I will have a problem. I choose not to have a problem. I'll worry about it when I get older. And then when I call the firemen, because on my life alert, call the firemen in. Sorry. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad you got loads of toilet paper. You hate that you have to have someone to help you walk outside when it's icy and fear of falling and breaking my back. Yeah, literally. I have to too, honey. I have to, because I've had to learn that it's okay to lean on people, because literally all you're doing is teaching somebody else how to help, how to take care, what to do. Some of the things that I learned from my husband's sickness, some of the things that he actually went through, some of the conditions, like when he got sick, a lot of stuff would shut down. He ended up with diabetes. He ended up with thyroid problems, and the diabetes does cause mood swings. So these are things I already knew when I met Michelle. So I already knew what to expect. So I went through all of this with him, but I learned and I maintained. Oh, your hip and your bones, mine is my back. Literally, it's lumbar number L5 is my issue. So yeah, and that's it. Fear. It's getting through the fear. And one of the good things you're learning by leaning on someone else, you're learning to trust, which is the positive aspect of the fear. That's what you do. You take, okay, I have this fear, but I'm trusting someone. So focus on the fact that you're trusting someone to help you. That's the positive side of it. That is the best thing. Focus on the positive. Hey, I did this. I trusted someone. That's the positive side. Now, okay. L4 and L5. Yep. Yep. Mine's L5. It kind of shattered. Shattered. Yeah, there's nothing connecting my tailbone to the rest of my body. So literally, I swear to God, if I could ever jog again, my tailbone would probably wag like a dog's tail. So, anyways, that would be funny though if you ever watched that on an X-ray. Anyways, okay. So now we need to reflect on the psychological aspects of your negativity. Try to think. Whenever you find yourself feeling negative, this one's hard. Pause and ask yourself why. Believe it or not, the one question that all your kids at why, when they used to go through the why stage, oh, that drove me nuts. Why? Because I said so. That's why. No, but it is. And sometimes our negative behaviors, our thoughts are actually reflections of our past experiences. That's the reason you want to ask why you're feeling this way. Why? So once you actually, some of the things that you will be actually looking into or looking at when you ask the why question, it'll be okay. Now, okay, I know this is from the past, but it's not happening in this present time. So I know I can get through this. So try to remember. It's like it's the way they psychologically teach individuals with PTSD. There are certain things that happen to them as a trigger. The idea of this is to teach them to separate. This is what happened back then. This is what's happening now. It's the separation that helps them get through the PTSD so they don't have an explosive type episode when they are having the PTSD. Okay. So now we're going to get on to the next thing, which I love. You need to actually develop a sense of humor. Literally, get yourself to laugh more. That's what I told you this already. Do not take life too seriously. Don't. I make fun of myself on a regular basis. I don't really care. I am who I am, and people can actually deal with it. So on a regular basis, it is what it is. So as individuals, don't take your life, don't take anybody too seriously. And yes, I slip every now and then, but you know what? That's okay. I'm human. I'm not perfect. Okay. So remember, literally, laughter is nature's medicine. Yes. So, and again, laughter soothes the soul. Laughter is medicine. Laughter is healing, and not taking yourself seriously really does help you. It'll help you to become a more understanding individual. Okay, it really will. Even in the most difficult times, even in the most difficult things. That's the one thing that my mother actually has had to develop, because she's a very independent individual. She always has been. But she has, excuse me, itchy ear. I don't know if that's good or bad, but she has a particular issue now with her muscles where she literally can't even hold her own weight up to stand and walk. So she used to get upset when she dropped things like the milk. She couldn't get it. And my son had to come down and clean it. Things like that. But now she laughs at herself. And that's the thing. Rather than getting upset, she chooses to laugh at some of the things that happen. And again, that's really good. Itchy ear. Yeah, this one, that's my right ear is itchy. I don't know why, but it is. It's wicked itchy. So laughing at yourself, even when you're feeling, rather than having the feeling of feeling useless, or I wish I could do this, but I can't. It's just literally kind of laughing at yourself. It's like, because of my back issue, I have a tendency to drop things. I really don't own many glass cups because they shatter too far. So most people come in and they want to drink. Okay. I got tons of coffee cups. You don't have any glasses? No. Why? Because when I drop them, the glass goes everywhere. So, and it is, and nobody believes me until they start to shatter everywhere. So, and that's what happens. So, but that's okay. Think of it this way. You have a large assortment of coffee cups to drink out of. There's nothing wrong with that, So, it is what it is. It's just learning the humorous side of things. I mean, if they made rubber cups, I might actually be able to do it. But then again, I mean, rubber does this probably not good. If they made the ceramic cups, like they make the coffee cups out of that, they don't really shatter. They just crack. So if they made those in glasses, I could probably use them. But other than that, no, because I'll break anything. I really will. I just move on and learn from it. Exactly. Now, another thing we can actually look at, we're actually at 728, is you need to realize that bad events will be there no matter what, but it's not the end of the world. That's the part that is one of the most difficult things. We're getting into difficulty things right now. Okay. Literally, bad things happen to the best of us. Okay. It will. Is it the end of your world? Is your world and your life over because this happened? I'm sure sometimes it feels that way, but coming from experience, it's not over. It feels that way, which is ironic considering the date. Well, think of it that way. If you're walking and people think you're drunk, start slurring your words and make them laugh. That way you can say anything you want and people don't have anything to say back. So I don't know. But see, that's me. I'm a little sarcastic. And that's one of the hardest things in the world is you can actually have something very negative about happen to you. And you can literally get stuck on it for years. And you could get stuck on that negative event that made you feel that negative emotion or that heart-wrenching, heart-breaking emotion. Or you can choose to go on and to live and to be a better person or to make somebody proud, and just be the best you can, rather than trying to avoid any possible negative events. Realize that life is always a surprise. That's a good thing. Take it in stride with the preparation and get through it quickly. That one is really hard. Okay. Now, being perceptive is another one to being positive. Okay. Being perceptive. Now, sometimes you can encounter an individual who's extremely negative and all of a sudden anywhere, somebody you don't even know, literally, will take an individual, especially now, an individual, very negative, Are you going to let that negativity of that individual, what they're saying, actually be on you? I mean, literally, you have to think of things this way. People usually are angry because they're trying not to let their fear show or their depression show. That's one of the things. People with depression or fear will come off as an angry, negative individual. Okay. Literally, always angry about something, always sarcastic. A lot of individuals like that will come off like that. So, what you need to do is to not take it with you. Think of it from that perspective. That particular individual is just afraid or they're depressed, and this is the way it comes off. Don't absorb their negativity. One of the hardest things to do is to do this with family. When you have a member in your family that we'll call Debbie Downers, sorry, Debbie's here, sorry about that. So what happens is their negativity will bring you down. Don't absorb it. Just literally let it kind of slide off your shoulder. I mean, try to look deeper into what's happening. You can do that from a distance and think about it and literally use logic, use your perspective to do this. Okay? So, all right, so this individual is feeling this way. Maybe they're depressed, maybe they just lost somebody. There's always something that could have happened to an individual that caused them to be like this. Now, we don't know because I'm not a mind reader. So there's no way I can know why or how somebody is feeling the way they are or why they choose to blow up at a perfect stranger. Now, family members, usually you can reason with and you can get a better perspective of what's going on, but you can't when it comes to strangers. So what you have to do is you just have to try to think what's going on as far as that. Okay. So that one's really hard. All right, now we're going to get into the last of it over here. Wow, I've been talking all night, huh? All right. I'm also going to give you guys some books that can actually help you through this. Now, stop dwelling. And compare and start living. Stop dwelling. How many of us get stuck in the past? Okay. Now, so when something bad is happening to you and you have an hour or a day or a week to stop thinking about that, you're dwelling on it. It's not easy to do. So you have to, okay, you have to stop. Literally, if you know that it's negative and you keep coming back to it, in other words, you'll fall back. It's like you felt something, you jumped on a trampoline, okay, so it left you for a bit, then you jumped right back because the trampoline just brought you right back to where you were. What's happening? What is it? Well, Sue, I stopped overthinking that. That makes you guess yourself making you depressive. Yes, exactly. That's what it is. Because what it is, you're actually dwelling on the past. Okay. Too much negativity causes you to dwell on the woulda, coulda, shouldas. We talked about this at the beginning. Okay. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. All right. And it will happen. Because, like I said, it's the same thing as PTSD. We all have triggers. But the thing is not to dwell on our triggers. Okay. Let go of the woulda, coulda, shoulda. We don't want those in our lives anymore. Okay. And it's hard. It is so hard to do, but you can't go back in time. But what happens is sometimes something will happen. And a good example, men that have been to war that heard a lot of gunshots, they have issues with fireworks because it brings back that memory and it causes their brain to feel exactly what they felt. So the same thing is happening with us in life. We are feeling something based on a trigger. The idea is to recognize the trigger. Okay. This is like one of the steps to get through it quickly. Recognize what the trigger was. Okay. You're feeling this emotion. You need to know why. Recognize the trigger. Figure out where in your life it was in the past and let it go. And you keep doing this. And it is so, so hard to do, but it can be done because not every situation will be the same. The same thing will not happen in every situation. It's the same thing as making homemade cookies. Okay. Literally, every cookie will not look the same. I'm sorry. I am not a robot. There's no such thing as they're all going to be the same shape and size. Okay. They're all going to taste the same. Yes. But they're not all going to look the same. It just doesn't work that way when you make things from scratch. And that's the way you need to think of things. Okay. So in other words, a situation will come up and all of a sudden it's like, okay, it's really similar. I got the bad feeling it's going to happen. Is it a bad feeling? Or are you flashing back on what happened before? That's the part. Recognize. Okay. Okay. So rather than dwelling, process it, think through it. These things all these things that we've talked about are actually going to help you. And it's a challenge, it's a test, it's a way to continue to help yourself. It's a way of life. Living positively is a way of life. See, I choose not to argue with people because it's pointless. Okay. I choose to stay positive. I choose to have positivity around me. I choose to be happy. What about you guys? Do you choose to have no more negative? Do you choose to stay positive? Do you choose to love who you are by allowing yourself to keep the negative away from you? Exactly. Exactly. Now, for those that actually like reading books on anything, let's see. The Power of Positive Thinking is a good book. Hello. Classic Americana. Hello from YouTube. Another one is The How of Happiness. That is another good book you can actually read. The Powerful Phrases of Positive People. That's another one. That's a good reflective one that's going to help you with this. Okay. Now, let's see. How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. Believe it or not, it sounds weird, but it really does work. Another one, let's see. The Pursuit of Happiness. That's a film. That's a good one. Now and again, Unbroken. That's a good one too. I swear, I think I was supposed to be in this room for me to hear this from you, Sue. And I understand. Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you so much. Yes, it is. It's hard, but you can do it. You can do it. So and this is what it is, you need to learn to stay positive. If you want to learn to stay positive, it's really not that difficult. You just want to do this on a daily basis. Okay, a daily basis. How about the power of suggestion? Yeah, well, yeah, the power of suggestion. You want to have positive suggestions. Okay, so you want to only take in what is more powerful, more positive, more light, more loving to you. Okay. Now, you want to basically, what you want to do is every day you're going to improve your positive. So for today, I'm going to be very positive in this. I'm going to be the best me that I can be. I'm not going to dwell. You slip, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Remember, we're not perfect. We're not robots. There's no such thing as a perfect individual. If you meet somebody that says they're perfect, I guarantee you they got a lot of skeletons in their closet. There's no such thing. So that's what you do. You start from today and go forward. Don't look back. Well, unless you're writing a book and you need to go back in chapters, that's kind of different. But take your life and choose to make it positive. Choose to be happy. Choose to love who you are. All of you. All of who you are. Every part of you. Even my double chin. You want to see it? Look, it's really cool. And that's what it is. Be okay with who you are. Love who you are. Like who you are. Embrace who you are. Bring that positivity and that love and that light around you and keep it there. Because once you get that, no stress, no negativity, no nothing. And all you have is that light, that love, and that positive. I'm telling you, it's addicting. You'll want more and more and more. And you'll want to be around that positivity all the time. And you'll be able to recognize negative situations, negative people more quickly, faster. And you're like, no, don't want that. Don't want that. Like, can't touch this, so to speak. You'll be so positive. It'll be like, you can't touch this. Sorry, that song. Can't touch this. Anyways, and that's what it's going to be like. You're going to feel amazing. You really will. Trust me. I was negative Nelly. I am not. I am positive. This situation that we're going through right now with the virus going around, I choose, even through this, I choose not to let negativity come to me. I choose not to stress. I choose not to worry. I choose to maintain a positive outlook that things will work out. I choose. Okay? I want you guys to choose too. That's right. No stress. Keep the drama out. There's no more drama for this mama. And that's the hardest thing. But you guys, you can do this. You can 100% be the best one you can. Oh, hey, Sienna. Oh, my goodness. Sienna. Oh, Sienna. We all can do this. We can all be the best we can be. And our best isn't the same thing as our neighbor's best or our friend's best or our brother's best. It's not. It's our best. It's our best us. That's what it is. Your best you, your best positive you. Not your neighbor, not the guy down the street, not this, not that, nothing. Nothing. The best you can be for you. The best positive you can be for you. Absorb it and love it and like it and be that individual and grow. It's worth the work. It's worth it. It really is worth it, because sooner or later, even when the negativity comes around, it's just going to kind of roll off you. Like parchment paper and water. They don't mix. Water rolls right off of parchment paper. Okay. And here's another tip, you guys. Speaking of parchment paper, how many people have parchment paper in the kitchen? Okay. Need to go out, don't have a mask. Guess what? Water droplets don't go through. Parchment paper. You take a paper towel, you take parchment paper, you find a way to tie the ends or staple the ends with an elastic, put them over each ear, instant mask. Really very easy. Put the parchment paper in the middle. Okay. Parchment paper, water does not, it just falls off it. Okay. So there is a guinea rig mask there for you if anybody does need to go out. So, but parchment paper, literally try it. If you have parchment, not wax, if you have parchment paper, do me a favor and run it underwater. Literally take a glass of water and run it. Tell me if it sticks to the paper or rolls off. Because it doesn't, it rolls off. That's why it's an emergency guinea rig mask. There's actually a video on YouTube that shows you the correct way to fold it and how to staple the ends, so to speak. And you can come up with your own guinea rig, or you can tie it here, there, and everywhere if you need a mask. Because right now masks are scarce, but it's a good temporary fix. It really is. Because, like I said, parchment paper, it doesn't. I mean, I've done a lot of baking over the years, and liquid will go off the sides of the parchment paper. So, wire repels off water. Sorry, water. Yes, water just comes off it. And you have to remember when people cough, the droplets, don't reuse it. Okay, throw away the paper towel, so to speak, because you have to remember one side's the inside, one side's the outside. So you don't want to put the outside on the inside. You have to make sure that it's on the same way all the time. Yes, water does repel off of parchment paper. A little hint there. So if anybody does need to get to the store and doesn't have a mask and doesn't know what to do, use parchment paper, paper towels. Hell, have one of your kids or your grandkids decorate the paper towels. There you go. So this basically is awesome. So I am going to see you guys for Sunday. For healing, we need to keep those chakras balanced into the positive, loving light. That's what we need to do. So I really do hope, I do have a reading tonight. So I'm just going to take a couple of minutes before the reading to actually clean all the crystals off of my desk. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed the show tonight. And I really hope that you choose to join me in my positivity, because I like it. I like who I am. I like who I know you guys can be. Literally, have faith in yourselves, guys. Have faith. You got this. Have faith in everything. Things will work out. Things will work out. They always do, and they always will. So stay positive. Do not let anything or anyone bring you down. Nothing. You have this. Stay positive. Don't worry about the woulda, coulda, shoulda, because that brings negativity. Negativity stresses out your immune system. Aha. Aha. Because negativity brings stress. So stay positive. Okay. Remember, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Okay. That nothing in life is permanent, not even this situation. You're welcome, honey. You're welcome. All right, guys. I have a reading tonight. So I am going to end the show 10 minutes early. And I'm going to say, peace out. I love you all. And remember, stay positive. Okay? You guys got this.
Thanks for tuning in to Awakening the Unknown with Susan Swanbeck and Michelle Sullivan here on the ATU Network. For more information on upcoming shows and appearances, be sure to follow us on Facebook and on the web at awakeningtheunknown.wixsite.com. For voiceover work done by Cody Brain Desbian.